What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Discovering Nicole. That would be me, your girl, Nicole. And today we're going to talk about why is it so hard to get sober and stay sober. Before we get into this video, don't forget to subscribe. Click the notification bell. That way you will be made aware when I upload other videos. For those of you guys that don't know, I go live a lot over on my Facebook account. So you should probably come over there. And I go live on TikTok also. But honey, I've been blowing it up on Facebook. So if you're bored and you want to come hang out with us in the evenings, Facebook is where it's at. There's a link to my Facebook account in my bio, and I'll also put it down below. So let's get into this. So why is it so hard to get sober and stay sober? So I was thinking about this question the other day because I was reflecting back on all the times that I have tried to get sober and was unsuccessful. All the times I tried to get sober, when I would go into treatment, a lot of the reasons why I would go in is because I was prompted. Something happened, right? Some negative consequence happened that prompted me to go and get help. So it wasn't like I was making the decision on my own. That's the first thing. The second thing, sure, when I get into treatment and I'm there, I might make the decision that, hey, you know what? I do need to be sober. I do want to change my life. But there's always that little bitty reservation in the back right here. It's like right here hanging out, like just chilling back there. That reservation that says, hey, maybe one day I'll be able to use like a normal person. And for me, that was my obsession. Like, why can't I use like regular people? Why can't I use methamphetamine and just use it for energy and then go to sleep at night like some other people do? Why can't I do opiates and take them and feel the high and clean my house and do this, that, and then be done with it? And I tried to figure out the magic combination of using drugs without negative consequences for 15 years. I truly believe that it takes us what it takes. It took me 15 years to realize that I can't use drugs and alcohol successfully without fucking up my life. And I think that if I really reflect and I'm really, really, really honest about all the times I tried to get sober in the past, I can honestly tell you that there was always that lingering thought in the back of my mind telling me, one day you'll be able to use without these negative consequences. And that is why I picked up every single time. Getting sober is a choice that we make, right? It's a decision. We have to come to this decision. It's not something that is just like made easy on a whim, right? We go through a process of like grieving our drugs, right? Because this is something that we did for years and years and years and years. I cannot tell you guys how uncomfortable I felt when I got sober because I just didn't know how to live my life without drugs and alcohol. I felt so awkward. I just felt like a fish out of water, you know what I mean? So when we get sober, it takes us making that decision, that clear decision that we are going to put our all into this, that we know that we cannot use drugs and alcohol successfully. Therefore, we can't ever go back to it. Okay. Then we have to dedicate our time to learning about the disease of addiction because knowledge is power. Okay. Then we have to be honest with ourselves and disconnect ourselves from our friends, those friends that we've been friends with for years and years and years, who are continuing down the road that we can't go down anymore. We have to be open-minded to different ways of recovery because you know what? Abstinence 12-step recovery doesn't work for everyone. And we're finally starting to recognize that, and people are starting to find other pathways and speak out and share those pathways, like medication-assisted treatment, like I've done. For the longest time, the only way that was taught to us was abstinence-based treatment, okay? And that is why there has been such low success rates for people, because when you only give them one option, how in the world are all the millions and billions and trillions of people in the world going to fit into that one little box, the AA abstinence-based box? that's insane to believe that that way would work for every single person. So that's another reason why a lot of us continue to fail over and over and over and over again, because we were never given another treatment option. Once I was given the option to utilize medication-assisted treatment, it literally was like night and day. Night and freaking day. And now I've been sober for 7.5 years. Do you know the 10 years that I was in and out of treatment, in and out of Alcoholics Anonymous, no one ever offered me to utilize medication-assisted treatment. No one ever shared with me about harm reduction. Nothing. And that's really not good, you guys. That has to change. Now, in a lot of you guys' states, in these big states, y'all are already on the road to changing. But here where I live, we got a long way to go. Okay, a long way to go. The people here in Arkansas, they don't believe in harm reduction. They don't support, giving out clean syringes to people. They think it's like, it's just they don't support it. So it's like really ass backwards here. But I'm saying all this to say, like, I want you to reflect back to all the times that you tried to get sober and you were not successful, okay? And I want you to look back and I want you to tell me in the comments, what treatment model was offered to you? Was it abstinence-based 12-step? If it was, I want to know. If it was something different, I want to know. Put it in the comment section. I really want to see this. Because, do I dare to say this? I'm going to say this. I bet the reason why we all failed is because we were all trying to do AA abstinence and that wasn't what worked for us. And so that's why so many people have been unable to get sober and stay sober. Okay? So that's a problem with the treatment industry. Now, the problem on our part is keeping that reservation, right? Not making that decision and that choice and staying steadfast and actually following through, right? We would relapse and go back to drugs and alcohol because we like the way they made us feel, right? A lot of the times when I relapsed, it was because I was around people that were using and they were getting high and I seen that. And at the end of the day, no one else gets me high but me, right? So I would get high with them because I wanted to feel the way they felt. So willingness to change. We have to be willing, you guys, willing to do whatever it takes. When I first got sober, I walked everywhere I went because I didn't have a motherfucking car. When I first got sober, I worked at a little sandwich shop, okay? When I first got sober, I had nothing. Okay, I didn't have clothes that fit me because I was getting so much bigger and I was broke as a motherfucking joke. So I had to wear t-shirts and sweatpants and my uniform to work is the only thing I had to wear until, I was able to buy myself some jeans and some shorts and stuff like that. But I'm sharing all this to tell you guys this. Like when I was getting sober this last time, because my son got taken away from me, I was willing to do whatever it took. It was a little rocky at the beginning and I fucked up, right? I was taking the Xanax and treatment and they busted me. But after that, it was like I had a moment of clarity. They sat me down and they told me, like, if you fuck up again, we're going to terminate your rights. And that shit woke me up. And from that point forward, I was dedicated to changing my life and being a better person for my son. I didn't care about me. I didn't want to get sober because I loved myself, because I wanted to be sober for me. I didn't give a fuck about me. I did this for my son. I used my son as motivation, and that shit ended up saving my life. And the longer I stayed sober, the more I began to want to stay sober for me. And I utilized medication-assisted treatment, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I have been trying to get sober for 10 years through one way of abstinence and Alcoholics Anonymous. And I don't understand why somebody didn't stop and say, hey, this isn't working for her. Let's try something different. It took my husband getting on MAT to share that with me for me to ask questions, And so on our part, it's all about making that decision. It's all about getting rid of that reservation, and it's all about being willing to do whatever it takes, being honest with ourselves, taking suggestions, being open-minded, following through, getting out there and being responsible, working our jobs, getting serious about our sobriety, because this is life or death. This is life or death. And this is why I'm such a huge advocate for multiple pathways to recovery. If you smoke weed and it helps you stay off of fentanyl, I commend you. I'm proud of you, and your sobriety is valid. Okay? If you utilize kratom and it helps you stay off the needle, I commend you. Your sobriety is valid. If you're on MAT and it helps you stay sober, I commend you. Your sobriety is valid. If you're able to be abstinent, I look up to you and I commend you. Your sobriety is valid. Don't let anyone take that away from you, okay? Because we put a lot of hard work into what we do, you guys. But that is why I believe it's so hard to get sober. One, because we have that reservation and we keep it, and we struggle making the choice and the decision and sticking to it. And two, because the only way we were ever taught is abstinence-based 12-step recovery, and no other options were offered to us. And I bet you $500 every single person who watches this video has the same experience. Let me know down below. Love ya.